So, I saw Across the Spider-Verse last night, right? And my friends necessarily didn't like the movie, which I completely understand, but right off the bat, before I start this review, you gotta understand that it is a part 1 of a part 2 series, nothing more. You gotta understand that, and now, after what that cliffhanger is, I'm super excited for Beyond the Spider-Verse, and I can't wait for Beyond the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse Part 2, Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out next year. I can't wait for next year. Anyway, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Comic Book Nerd, where we talk all things major movie television news. I am your host on the channel, Grant Sullivan, and in today's video, we're just going to review Across the Spider-Verse, talk about it, give out my thoughts as well. This is a spoiler review, so spoilers ahead, but first, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to drop a like and subscribe so you guys don't miss out on any of the latest videos. I will have an ending explained video out soon. Just woke up, but regardless, we're talking Across the Spider-Verse because I just saw it last night and I want to get this review out the way for you guys. So, right off the bat, the animation, like everyone said, lived up to the hype. The animation was absolutely fantastic. I loved the animation even more than I did in the first one. The animation was really, really on par, and it was great. It lived up to the hype, which I was happy with. I'm glad that it lived up to the hype. There were some parts, maybe like the intro, where they could have toned it down a little bit, but regardless, the animation was absolutely on point, and I really, really enjoyed this movie. In terms of animation-wise, it was great. Now, the voice acting as well was also really, really phenomenal. Hailee Steinfeld voice acting, Gwen, I loved that. Shameik Moore as Miles obviously killed it. Oscar Isaac as 2099 absolutely smashed it as 2099. I loved Oscar Isaac's the villain. The Spot was probably the best part of this movie, and he was the villain for me. I think the Spot was probably one of the best parts of the movie, if not the best part of the movie. I loved how they made Spot a funny, serious villain. At the same time, he was funny when he needed to be. He was pretty funny for the most part, and then towards the end it got really, really serious. But I really, really enjoyed the Spot being the main villain of this movie, and I can't wait to see what they do with the Spot for the next one. Is he gonna kill his dad? Who knows? That's a spoiler right there, but why'd you click on this video if you didn't want spoilers? So, regardless, I love the Spot being in this. I love the animation in this movie. I love the voice acting as well. Hailee Steinfeld did great as Gwen. Oscar Isaac smashed it as 2099. I think that was the best one. The second best part of the movie was 2099. I think the villains were the really, really good part of the movie. Peter B. Parker in this movie, the OG cast came back, which was great to see for the end. So that's setting up Beyond the Spider-Verse as well. I am disappointed that we didn't get to see Toby, Tom, and Andrew in a full scene, just because it's a Spider-Verse movie. I think they should have been in it, other than those 2 flashback scenes with Andrew and Tom. But they also, I think they should have capitalized on that Venom scene. We knew they were going to Venom's world. Why not show us Tom Hardy or Eddie Brock as Venom in the gas station too? I think they could have done that, or maybe they're setting that up for Beyond the Spider-Verse when he is trying to go home. My theory still stands that he is trying to go home, but he didn't end up in the MCU in this one. Maybe he does at the end of the next one for Secret Wars, and then we'll get the live-action Miles Morales movie inside of the MCU, and I think that sets up a bigger Secret Wars, him to be the next Spider-Man going forward in the MCU. I think that would be a great way for Sony and Marvel Studios to capitalize on everything. We don't know what Sony's doing with their universe yet, but overall, I think Beyond the Spider-Verse was a great film. Now, my friends personally really didn't enjoy that movie, which I completely get, but again, you got to go into this thinking this is a part 1 of a part 2 trilogy, I guess you would say. But that's what you got to go in thinking about it. If you didn't, it's kind of like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. That's probably why most people did not enjoy Quantumania, was because it was a setup for Phase 5 of Kang, and we still don't know what they're going to do with Kang in the MCU, but still, that's probably why most people didn't enjoy Quantumania, is they didn't see it as an introduction to Phase 5, a setup for the main villain. They saw it as an Ant-Man 3, just like this one. They saw it as Into the Spider-Verse 2, and that definitely was part of it, but it still wasn't it. It was part 2 of part 3, which honestly I can't wait for part 3 next year. It's going to be so good, and hopefully we do see Toby, Tom, and Andrew in that one. I lost $3, but what can I say? I really put money on them being in this movie, which honestly I really think they should have been in this movie for the most part. I think that they could have had them in the lobby. Speaking of which, the lobby, how about we talk about Aaron Davis' live action Prowler. That was incredible what they did with that in the animated universe. I'm invested in his backstory and how they did that in the MCU. What he did after Spider-Man Homecoming. Aaron, if you guys did not see, Aaron Davis, the Prowler, did show up in this movie live action in his suit too, which was absolutely insane. That was actually really, really good done by Sony. That was probably more of a great part than them showing Toby and Andrew, honestly, in my opinion. That was great. We got a hint toward Doctor Strange and Peter Parker as well. We got a live action Aaron Davis, which was absolutely insane to me. That was crazy. I mean, I didn't know what to think when I saw that, but I am invested in Aaron Davis as the Prowler. I am invested in what if they do something with him in Sony's universe. Hopefully a Sinister Six live action coming up with Miles Morales. That's probably what they're setting up, but I'm invested in the Prowler, and I really, really enjoyed seeing that. That was a nice surprise from Sony. Now, again, as I said earlier, they should have capitalized on Venom being in there, in Venom's world, when the Spot went to Miss Chen's gas station and asked to buy those. But they should have capitalized on that for sure, but they didn't, which is completely fine. I thought the Lego world was absolutely funny. That was hilarious. Now, my one question being, though, is when we go to all of these worlds, we see J.K. Simmons voicing every J. Jonah Jameson in this movie, which I'm curious to see. Is he MCU canon, or is he one of those characters who could swap worlds and go in and out anywhere from Sony, Marvel, their contracts? I'm interested in that as well, that part of it. But that's just one of the problems that I had of this movie. This movie was absolutely fantastic. I cannot say enough great things about this movie. I wish I could stop, but obviously the one thing that I really wanted them to do was give us Toby, Tom, and Andrew. But other than that, it was fine. The lobby was absolutely great. We saw PS4 Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, or the Spectacular Spider-Man from the cartoon show, which was great as well. We saw a lot of variations of Spider-Man, including Ben Reilly and Jessica Drew. I really loved their characters. Mostly, though, I really enjoyed seeing Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider, on the big screen, finally. I think that Sony is going somewhere with their universe, and I think that Sony is going to make it eventually into a Sinister Six. Maybe incorporate 2099 into that Sinister Six. We already know a huge part of the Sinister Six already with Kraven, Morbius, Vulture, Scorpion, maybe 2099, maybe Eric Davis, live action Prowler as well. Who knows? But let me know your thoughts on Across the Spider-Verse down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Ending Explained video coming shortly, and we'll talk about what this sets up for the future of the Spider-Verse. But that is going to be all, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.